outside the political, how would I call it, for lack of a better word, outside the political camps. Like here in Kenya, we have Azimio and Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and those small political parties. They looked at, for a scholar, they looked at somebody who understands the economy, somebody who has studied. They went up to Harvard and looked for somebody and brought him. They're like, we want you to lead this country. And that is how Singapore turned around. It was not turned around by a politician. It was turned around by a technocrat. So when you are talking about Singapore, looking for the right representation. So with William Ruto, we are on the right trajectory, trying to look for the right candidate to steer around this country away from this kind of politics. Let me tell you, 50 years down the road, when we'll be down, our grandchildren will be wondering, what the hell were you guys thinking of? How could you have 350 members of parliament? What nonsense was that? And what were they doing? And then we have a woman rep doing what the MP is supposed to do. Meanwhile, let me welcome Mr. G. Mr. G, karibu sana.
Thank you, Mr. Mzalendo and my brother Guru. It's a good discussion ambao
karibu Mr. G. Maybe umekuwa ukitusikiza pale on the background. Jitambulishe alafu pia uchangie katika huu mjadala wa leo tafadhali.
Okay, do you get me? Unanipata?
Tunakupata Mr. G, nakupata vizuri sana ndugu yangu. Habari ya Mombasa?
Thank you. Nzuri, thank you Mr. Mzalendo and Mr. Mburu.
Siku mingi. Ndugu yangu.
You know, you are talking. Asante, you are talking about a good discussion about the topic, the issue of watu wengi ambao tuko nao, the women rep, the ministers, MPs, the governor. Is a good discussion, but now I've not yet get your option about the issue Kasabu. Even the last point that you have mentioned before you give me the chance, the last statement you made that we are in the right trajectory about having elected Ruto. Sio ndio kitu ambacho umesema ya mwisho?
Nimesema.
And yet we know that this is the guy ambaye amekuja na ame expand. Look at the security ambayo inamzunguka. In fact ni kama ameongeza mara 2 mara 3 the security. Let us look at the trips ambao he's making out of Kenya. How many trips has he make since the day ambayo ali step into State House? Let us look at the things ambao amefanya since that first day ambayo ameingia kwa State House. He is a man ambaye reduce that cost ambayo kwa anasema anakuja kureduce ama ameongeza the cost ambayo alikuja kuongeza.
Well, G, kwa maana mimi napenda sana kujadiliana na wewe because you look at things objectively and not looking at things in a political inclination point of view. I want to say, when I said we are on the right trajectory, I meant that away from the normal, after Ruto winning, it was away from the normal trend of Kenyan politics. This is somebody out of the political lineage that we have been having in this country, and he was representing a kind of a fresh new start in our politics and introducing new people into the game. Why? Because you look at the kind of people that Ruto has introduced in politics through his UDA are people we didn't know, and they are like Mr. G himself from Mombasa politics. I feels that is good for his people. Ruto is not the perfect leader, but is a transition leader to a good country, a country where the rule of law and a country where we will reduce representation. That is what I meant by the right trajectory. rather than having the status quo remain the way it was. If we had Uhuru Kenyatta, for instance, coming back into power, that would be a status quo. If we had Raila Odinga coming into power, that would be a fresh start. But again, he comes up with the baggages of Uhuru still in his back. We for me, I still feel that we are on the right trajectory. Ruto made mistakes. Probably will improve in his last term. Let us give him time. It is only 1 year. All these things that we are saying, all the issues of making trips, I think the trips have been reduced. As we have seen lately, most of his ministers are no longer flashing on social media how they are spending or how they are enjoying our taxpayers' money. That is something that we highlighted a lot and we discussed a lot until they were pushed to a corner and told, you know what, you need not to be flashing these things. You need not to show us that you're buying a 400,000 worth of liquor, yet the people of Kenya are suffering economically. So some of this excitement is slowly fizzling out, and we are getting to where we are at the moment. Mr. Jeff, I wanted you to also tell me, Mr. G, I wanted to ask you one question. What do you make of Ruto's trip in Nyanza?
And maybe if we can see Mr. G, it's been a while since we saw him. So I don't know why he's afraid. Why he's afraid to come on camera today? He's a very brave person that I know. So
you know, politics. Mr. G should understand that in this platform we don't have enemies. Just like our politicians, Raila will be seen with Ruto, Ruto will be seen with Gladys Wanga and the rest, and everywhere. So some of these people, they think that when we are in Raila's camp or when we are in Kenya Kwanza camp, you are not supposed to be seen with Mise, who is Oromuru, who is an Kenya Kwanza supporter, number one. So we are Kenyans. We love our country. That's the reason why we ban the midnight oil. Talking about our country, trying to find out solutions that are good for our people. That is why Miss LM is here trying to discuss the village boy. The village boy, like William Ruto, is here trying to tell us, you know, why we are wearing Masai regalias today. I needed Lempa, the Masai, to tell me how this thing is worn. This thing is so cumbersome.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm not a Masai. It keeps on falling all the time. So
Mzalendo.
I don't know how they keep up with this thing. Yeah? Hello.
Okay,
Yes.
Mzalendo, you had a question for me, but I lost the net sikusikia. What were you asking? Because there's something you wanted.
Nilikuwa nakuuliza hii trip ya Ruto Nyanza. Yeah? Unajua hii trip ya Ruto Nyanza ni ya kwanza kwa rais ambaye ameingia mamlakani kule Nyanza na kupeana hizo ma development projects ila alipeana na nini, na pia akazindua miradi mingi sana kwa ngome ya bwana Raila Odinga. Kisiasa wewe unaonaje hii mjadala, unaonaje hii mwenendo ya William Ruto ni kuingia katika ngome ya Nyanza kuzundua maendeleo ama ni siasa tu?
Okay, thank you, Mzalendo. I think Mike Yamburiko on, that's why kuna some echo. Okay, I get you. I lost the net, and I lost the net. That's why I did not get your question. Okay, on the issue of the trip ambao Ruto may make to Nyanza, it is just politics. You know, the guy has a strategy to get as much people ambao anaweza kuvaa to his side than ever. So that trip, it was not about just development, because I have not seen any development ambayo alipeleka pale. Which kind of development nimeona? Hakuna. What I just said is just guy, he went there to play politics and he knows what he's doing. And you know, remember what he did when he was in Nyanza and what the deputy president about Rigadi was doing on the other side. These are two people ambao they were showing as if ni kama wanapigana, as if ni kama hawako in good times, but they had a strategy. These are just one person. They have their own agenda that they are fighting for. In Nyanza, ameenda to win those souls, to win those people. to his side. That's the only thing ambayo ameenda kufanya pale. It's not about development. Hakuna development ambayo tunaweza pata kwa huyu mtu. Okay, you say that we are not CG, we are here just to speak about politics or to speak about CG, some things, but not about CG taking sides. But for me, tangu the guy has stepped into his office, sijaona kitu yote mzuri ambayo amefanya. In fact, maisha imeendelea kuwa juu, and remember he's the same guy ambaye alikuwa anadanganya watu kitambo kuwa akiingia kwa State House ataleta kila kitu chini, atafight for maisha mwananchi wa chini. Ni kitu gani ambayo ameweka, mechanism gani ambayo ameweka kusaidia mwananchi wa chini? For me, I have not seen anything. Everything that he's doing just politics. He's doing everything to win those people. That's why anapeana pesa. Look at the few weeks before I entered Nyanza. What was happening? Na wale watu ambao walikuwa wameenda kwake, wale MPs ambao walitoka Azimio wakaenda kwake. He was using these guys, anapatiana pesa ndio watu wakuje kwa hiyo meeting yake. Alafu akija anaanza kuongea maneno mazuri ambayo he cannot even deliver. So to me, mzalendo, there's nothing. This is just is a person ambaye amefocus for 2027 when ataweza kuwin, and he's trying to remove people from camp ya Raila alete kwake.
Wow. Mr. Elem, ingia kwa show, tuelezee, umesikia G hiyo mambo amesema, maybe you've got a different opinion or you agree with Mr. G. Endelea, Mr.
I think Mr. G is perfectly within his right and his opinion, and he's very passionate in what he's saying. But the truth is, what we see in the ground is different. William Ruto, the people of Nyanza have started warming up to the president, not because he's playing politics, but because of the development that he's taking there. This is the same case that we saw during the William Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, when they were when they in the last 10 years, we saw the same. And I think this is a strategy that is working with for the Luo Nyanza, for the Nyanza people, especially the Luo Nyanza, that they are pushing and opposing everything, and that makes the people in power, both William Samoei Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to try and take development to their regions to lure them, but in the process they have gained. I mean, William Ruto has been in Nyanza. We have seen James Orengo calling William Ruto His Excellency 15 times. Moses Kajwang, Milo Thiambo, Gladys Wanga, all of them praising the president for taking development. We saw recently that the president, he was at Kanyabwari, somewhere Kanyabwari, where he promised about the dam. That dam is going to help the people of Nyanza. We saw the road that has been, that has stalled for the longest, and the president promised that to be taken care of. We saw the issue of insecurity that was raised by the governor Gladys Wanga, and the president promised that he was going to address that issue. And even recently, we saw on a clip that you played a while ago, the president promised to go to Uganda in order to discuss the issue of insecurity, the kidnapping of the police, the kidnapping of the fishermen in Beta or in that area, so that this issue can be resolved diplomatically without necessarily having our police and being kidnapped by the Uganda, our fishermen being kidnapped by the Ugandans and being robbed of their the fishes that they have, spend a whole night fishing and getting, and at the end of the day, they are taken by the people of Uganda. So this kind of baby steps the president is making is good for our country. And despite of political differences and political opinions, we still have to appreciate that the legitimacy that were being sung by the people of Azimio is a long gone issue now, And now we are talking about development, a united Kenya with a common purpose. And Mzalendo, as you rightfully said, William Ruto is a president who has demonstrated in appointing people of young age, unlike the president of the past, who actually predominantly appointed people who are old and who are challenged in terms of technology and in terms of other areas. And we hope that his cabinet now that he has appointed is going to make a difference and not let down William Ruto in dispensation of his mandate and the execution of what he promised to the people. I wanted also to mention to Mr. G that perhaps he needs to get his eyes and horizons out of Kenya and think globally and know that this challenge, economical challenge or turbulence, is not only in Kenya. William Ruto is not working in isolation globally. He's also, Mr. G must also understand that our economy is also affected by external factors. And as you can see, it is not only in Kenya the cost of living that has gone high. It is also to be understood that those who are in the United States equally, the packet of eggs that they were buying, or a crate of eggs that they were buying about $4 or $5 now is extremely expensive. A packet of milk that we were buying about $3.20 is now about $10, and yet the minimum wage is same. So what does that tell you? The economical indicators is that this is a global challenge. And mind you, we are coming post COVID-19. As much as we want to think that COVID does not have a hand in this, it will be foolish of us to ignore that the government, global governments spent a lot of money during the pandemic time that they did not make. And now they are trying to tax people left, right, in order to recover the money and put it back for emergency and preparedness, so that in case we are hit with another pandemic, it's going to be there to help the people. So I want to encourage my friend, Mr. G, to also look that and appreciate that the president, more than any other part of the country, the president has put a lot of resources, has committed a lot of resources in the Luo Nyanza, and this is a trickle-down effect that is going to immensely benefit the people of Luo Nyanza. And I believe, even though those of us who are neighbors of Luo Nyanza will now also will start feeling the impact. I mean, those of us who are bordering Homa Bay, very soon our demands and our goods will start getting demand, because now there is money and circulation of money within the Luo Nyanza. So let us also give the president the benefit of doubt. And I want to remind Mr. G that even the best presidents like Muammar Gaddafi, who had resources, who really had the best and goodwill of benefiting his people and making resources available for his people, the people around Muammar Gaddafi did not allow him. They let him down in one way or the other. And also, there is a likelihood that people around President William Samoei Ruto might let him down, just the same way people around the former prime minister around him let him down, that they did not strategize well during pre and post elections, so that Raila Amolo would have won clean and very early in the morning the past election. So we need to, wanasema kwa Kiswahili, mugala muue lakini haki yake mpe. Sasa haki ya rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya hivi sasa ni kwamba anajaribu na ameweka jitihada za kuhakikisha kwamba uchumi wa Kenya unanawiri kwa njia moja au njia nyingine. Asante sana.
Mise, asante, thank you very much, Mise. I hope Bwana G, Mise has tried to answer you on the questions of development. Buru, I know I don't want him to get into this topic of Ruto development. We might take 1 hour into the show talking about the development in Ruto. Mr. G, I wanted to ask you a question that I've asked Mburu earlier on, and maybe gets to your point of view. There is this issue of Regigi's body language, and earlier on in this show, I played a clip. I need you to look at it. This clip, it has been going around in the media. What is your take on this? What is your take on this, and what is the idea behind this propaganda? I call it propaganda.
Why do you call it propaganda? Just show again the video. Look at those walls. Okay, look at the wall.
Yes.
Look at that wall. Okay, look at that knee, the flag, that flag.
I'm looking at the flag. I'm looking at all right.
The wall.
Let us play it one more time. This is Rigi G.
Okay, this one cannot give us the right picture. I think if you could just got the whole clip, you have given us the right picture, because see na katakata hii huwezi jua kwa sababu ukiplay the way you play the way you play it inaweza kuwa ni kama propaganda, but I don't think it is a propaganda, but it's good if you can get the full picture and the full clip, alafu tuangalie tujue hiyo bendera, because when you look at the flag, utapata the flag is on his right hand, alafu he's talking with somebody, alafu mtu ambaye anaongea ako on his left hand, and yet ukiangalia kwa the picture ambao Ruto alikuwa, utapata ni kama Ruto with this picture ya Gachagua, Ruto alikuwa on the right hand, kumaanisha picture mbili haziingiliani. Unaona, the two pictures haziingiliani the way you are showing those pictures are not adding up, kwa sababu utapata venye Ruto anaongea alafu na venye Gachagua anaongea, it's as if Ruto ako on the left side ya on the right side ya Gachagua, but ukiangalia kwa picture ya Ruto akiongea utapata ni kama huyu nani, ni kama Gachagua ako on his left hand, so the two pictures are not adding up.
Wow.
So it's better you just get the full clip to understand this thing.
Wacha tuachane na hii clip. Ji, nataka kuchezea clip ingine hapa.
Ndio. Haya. Nataka munisikize. Sema najua mimi ndio commander in chief. Ama ndio najua hivyo. Sasa nilishaambiwa na watu wa Mpangano ya kwamba pale kuna matatizo. Wavuvi wetu wanaangaishwa na askari wa nchi jirani. Na nimesema hivi, Tuesday mimi naenda Uganda kuzungumza na rais wa Uganda ndio tuondoe hiyo tatizo ya wavuvi wetu kuangaishwa. Simutanifuatilia, mimi nitakuwa Uganda Tuesday ili tuhakikisha kwamba kizirani tuondoe. Sisi tunataka ujirani mwema na mandugu zetu wa Uganda, na tunataka tukubaliane vile uvuvi itaendelea bila ya Wakenya kuangaishwa.
Well, the reason why I played that clip is just to, to talk about this island that has been a very thorny issue between the Kenyan government and the Ugandan government. This is Migingo and the harassment of fishermen from the Kenyan side by Ugandan police on the other side. This is an issue that Kibaki failed to tackle. And I remember at one point he said that Migingo is in Uganda. So we surrendered Migingo, which was part of Kenya, to the Ugandan authority. So we are seeing Ruto saying that we follow him very, very closely, whether you are in Kenya Kwanza or Azimio, we follow him and see whether he's going to tackle the issue of Migingo. Mr. G, from that clip, and hii unaweza sema hii ni maneno tu ya porojo or ni ya mzaa. There is nothing that the president is going to do about Migingo on his trip to Uganda.
Okay, Mzalendo, when was this? Wakati alikuwa anaongea, when was that day?
Hii ni trip ya juzi. Hii ni about...
No, I'm not talking about the trip. I'm talking about the day. When was that day alikuwa anasema kwa anaongea your statement? When was it? Was it Thursday? Was it Saturday? Was it Sunday? Ama ilikuwa ni lini?
I think it was on Saturday.
It was on Saturday, meaning that it was on Tuesday for him to visit Uganda. Today is when?
Leo. Leo ni Wednesday.
Did he go to Uganda? He never went. Huyu jamani wa propaganda. Mzalendo, let us leave this thing out. Huyu mtu ni mwongo. Wachana na yeye. He told us that ataenda Tuesday. He never went. Ama alikuwa anasema next week. Wachana na hiyo story. Bring another topic.
Maybe before we dismiss that, Mr. G, today is Thursday. Do you know where the president was on Tuesday?
He had a meeting in Nairobi.
Where?
He was in Nairobi and he had a meeting.
How long?
Let me find. I think I have your number. Let me find that clip and send it to you on your WhatsApp one. He was in Nairobi with the meeting. Alikuwa na meeting.
Yeah, but
this is a liar. That's why I'm saying let us leave this topic, Mr. Messi. Let's leave this thing.
Mr. G, the president can fly to Uganda within less than 1 hour. Uganda is not North America where someone has to fly like 2 hours, 8 hours, or 7 hours, or 15 hours. So Uganda is within the vicinity of East African community, and I don't think that is a problem to have to think. They probably nowadays they can have even a virtual meeting, so we cannot dismiss that the president has not attended to that. So maybe we need to give, it is just a few days that the president says that he's going to address that issue. Perhaps we need to begin to learn to give the president the benefit of doubt. I mean, I've heard you talking about everything and dismissing and rubbishing everything the president has either promised or is promising to do. I was wondering when you will begin to start being optimistic that perhaps this is the president, this is the current president that we have, and perhaps we should give him the benefit of doubt. And by the end of this month or this year, if he would have not gone to Uganda, the situation would have escalated. But then we can then make that kind of a conclusion. But I think it's too quick for you to make that kind of a conclusion, to dismiss the promise of the president to the people of Kenya to go and resolve a diplomatic issue. Perhaps through the advisory committee of the president, they might have found a reasonable a reason as to why the president might go to Uganda right away. It could be an irrational decision. So there are a lot of logistics that we might have to take into consideration before we make that kind of conclusion. Don't you think so, Mr. G?
I get you, Messi, but now when it comes to promises, this is the guy ambaye promised for more than 5 years. Akiwa na promise, he's a Mr. Promise. Sasa vitu ya promise tuachane nayo. If he was serious with what he was talking about, angesema kwa on Tuesday nitakuwa pale, because he was saying as if alikuwa sure he's going. Mimi nikikwambia Monday nitakuwa America, I'm sure on Monday I'll be America. I'm not playing with your mind kukwambia nitakuwa Monday America, kumbe I'm planning for next 5 years ndio nikuja America. Those are propaganda ambayo tumemzoea. So let us talk about another topic. I will always dismiss things ambayo haziingie kwa akili.
Mr. G, you ought to understand that if Mr. G says he will be in America next week, it is an individual decision, okay? The president is the symbol of the nation. The president does not work alone. The president works in conjunction with the security team and the people, his advisors. and he doesn't make decisions and act on them alone. He must work in line with other stakeholders within the executive. So I think it would be premature of us to dismiss the president. I don't know, Nick, what you think about it, but the president can promise and can recant the statement anytime, depending on the circumstances. What if there is intelligence that if the president of the Republic of Kenya would go to Uganda, he will be kidnapped or something bad will happen to him? Don't you think that can be halted?
Anyway, Mise, the president left Uganda 16 hours ago, is already in Kampala, Uganda. And whatever Mr. G is saying is mere propaganda. So he missed the first function yesterday, but the president is in Uganda indeed. So dismissing the president as not being in Uganda, Mr. Ruto is in Kampala. Sorry, Mr. D, you need to get your facts right sometimes. So sometimes you might be saying that, oh, this happened, this didn't happen, but Ruto is in Uganda. That's why we tell you to stay on this channel. This is why we say the truth. As it
Mzalendo, just show the pic. Wachana na hii propaganda unaonyesha hapa. Show the pic, Ruto amefika Uganda akishuka kwa ndege. Kwa tuonyeshe vitu ambavyo watu wana edit kwa nini bwana?
Wewe utataka kuaibisha zaidi bana, wacha ikae hivyo. Wacha ibaki hivyo. Wacha kutuaibisha sana. Ati Ruto ni propaganda.
Yo.
Is there to solve the border crisis. Iko wapi? Did you get it? Mise?
Yeah. Wacha kuaibisha Mr. G kwa sababu
unajua hapa tuna propaganda. Hapa ni ukweli tu tunasema. Mr. G, pengine you need to apologize, yeah? Sometimes it's decent to apologize that hey, I apologize to you viewers that I was not informed about this particular
But
issue.
Mzalendo, I think Mr. G today is a man who doesn't shy away from camera. I'm just wondering how come today he's shying my friend Mr. G, why are you shying away from camera today? Is it because you are giving propaganda, or what is it? I mean, I need to know.
I don't work in propaganda, Mr. Mise. I don't believe in propaganda.
Then show your face.
Believe in propaganda.
Show your face today.
No, I'm not showing my face today because I'm working with something.
No. Leave Mr. G alone. The fact that he came to contribute on the issue of happening in our country, that is good enough. And he has given us very, very positive analysis of the situation and how he feels about the president and what is happening in the presidency. According to him, the president has done a bit of nothing, and we should not give him the kind of praises everybody is giving him around. I'm also telling Mr. G that this is the president who is trying so hard to unify the country and not to divide it any further. I think that is a positive. So, Mr. G, in your analysis, do you see anything good, anything, even kadogo too, that the president is doing right for you? Everything, yes, 98% of everything is doing is wrong. But do you see any even a 1% that is doing right? Even 1%. 1%. Just a 1%.
1%. He's good in propaganda. I give him credit on propaganda. He's a good man in propaganda.
Oh, not even in the salary increment that.
What salary increment? Look at this, Mr. Mzalendo. Look at this thing. Sahi, the guy told us that alikuja akapata economy ikiwa mbaya. That is what he told us. You remember? So I think I expected him when he come at least kupunguza mishahara ya watu wengine ambao amesema atapunguza, because he wanted to cut that budget less than I think he was talking about 300 billion. That's what he was talking about. So I expected him to come alafu akate mishahara hawa watu wengine. You see, alafu aweke mechanism ambayo at least hata tukijua, we know as Messi amesema, we know that the whole world is passing through a lot of difficulties. Si Kenya peke yake, dunia mzima inapitia hali ngumu, but for him I give him credit for being a propagandist, kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye anapenda kuchezea watu akili. When he came in akituambia kwa anakuja kusaidia, ana believe in watu wa wanyonge, ana believe kwa watu wa mama mboga and pikipiki. How come sahi anakuja and the thing that he is introducing, the thing that are coming to affect our people, to affect these people ambao hata hawana chakula, watu ambao hata hawana pesa kuweka chakula kwa meza, ndo anakuja kuintroduce a lot of things about now affect. So for me, I cannot give him credit. I give him credit for being a liar.
Mr. G, I have a question for you while Comrade in your bio is here. Okay?
No. Spare Mr. G. Introduce Leo Nyabaya.
I will. Oh, Leo.
Ameenda network yake ni mbaya, but continue.
Yeah, but here's what I wanted to ask Mr. G. I know Mr. G stays in Mombasa. And remember the first thing the president did is to return the port back to Mombasa. Right? And I know Mr. G.
Messi, leave alone the thing of I'm in Mombasa bana. Achana mambo ya port bana. The guy ameshauza port tayari.
I wanted you to tell us a little bit, because the president came. Can you unleash, or can you unleash the lies of the president? Because the first thing the president did was to return the dry port back to Mombasa. So didn't this increase your input or in terms of jobs and all that? Because this was a cry from the coast that the former president had taken the port from Mombasa to Nairobi and to other places. So don't you think the president did the right thing that you can credit him for even 1%?
Messi, on the issue of port of Mombasa, Ruto did not return port of Mombasa from Nairobi to Mombasa. No. That was just, alikuwa anataka tu kupata kura ya Mombasa. I'm in Mombasa. In fact, you know very well that I deal with clearing and urgent, clearing and forwarding. And I'm always in port. Mizigo zetu bado zinachukuliwa zinaenda Nairobi. Hajarudisha port ya Mombasa nini, port ya Mombasa ya Nairobi Mombasa. Those were just lies ambao alikuwa na peddle. Things are not working. In fact, unajua, the only thing, but I cannot give him credit because that is what was happening even kitambo. In Mombasa, wakati umeagiza mzigo kutoka nje, mzigo wake ikifika Mombasa, if you are staying in Mombasa, you are supposed to clear your cargo from Mombasa na ibaki hapa Mombasa. But you know what was happening? It was being taken straight to Nairobi. Tunaambiwa kwa if you want your cargo to remain in Mombasa, you have to apply on that thing called Bill of Lading. So ukisha apply pale ndio ikifika Mombasa inabaki. The same thing is still happening even today. So tukisema mambo ya kurutani Mombasa port, hakuna thing ambayo imerudishwa Mombasa. The only thing ambayo imepunguzwa ni mambo ya kwenda I think kwenda Naivasha. Kwa sababu Naivasha uko unapata mzigo wako umebebwa umepelekwa Naivasha. Those are the only thing ambayo siku hizi sioni, but mzigo bado zinaenda. And in fact right now they are planning to take it direct from Mombasa to Uganda. So think of these people, the transporters ambao wamenunua ma trucks ambao wanafaa walipe those loans, watalipa vipi those loans? What we are supposed to discuss, I think, is yeye angepatiana that option. Ingekuwa kuwa if you want your cargo to go na SGR, wacha iende. But if you don't want, wacha iende na gari. But that thing is not working in Mombasa. Watu bado wanaendelea kupeleka mizigo kule vile wanataka ziende.
Mzalendo, you are on mute. Mburu sijui kwa nini aliona Mr. G Mburu akatoroka kabisa.
Mburu is sleepy. What is Mr. G saying? Mr. G is saying that he is not even aware that Ruto has employed 56,000 new teachers to address the country's teachers shortage. He slashed the prices of fertilizers, subsidized items to tackle the food crisis. He is not aware of that.
Mzalendo.
stabilize. You know, I am just telling you facts. As Ruto employed 56,000 new teachers, yes or no? This is a yes or no answer. So these are some of the, because when I will tell you that the annual revenue collection of Kenya has increased by 6.7% from the previous year, you will not believe. You will not believe. So these are some of the factors that you need to look at, and even the employment of judges. So these are small pluses. They might not affect your life directly, but they are impacting on other people. The teachers who have been employed after a long time can now put some food on the table. So that is something good. So even if you vilify William Ruto or the bottom-up economic agenda, know that there are things that his government has done correctly. You might not say that he's the best president or is perfect in whatever he's undertaking, but give him credit where it is due. As Mrs. says, Mgala mpe akia. Mgala mpe akia yake,
Mgala
Kiswahili
muue
inapotea.
lakini mpe haki yake.
Oh,
Mgala
I
muue
get you
lakini
guys. I get you guys, but what? Okay,
And
you know why I'm saying
Mr. G should understand that we are not praising William Ruto. We are
no.
also criticizing William Ruto for having not fully dispensed his obligation as the president and the promises that he gave. But we must equally give him the credit of the miles of the baby steps that he's making towards the promises that he gave. And on the other hand, I wanted to remind Mr. G on one thing, that His Excellency William Samoei Ruto has also started working towards fighting corruption. For example, if you look at the head of service, public services, recently they gave an order that all employees must take their leave. If you have accumulated your leaves, sorry, let me mute you because there's a little bit of news. So if you have accumulated your leaves, your personal days at work, they gave an order that even if it's up to 2 years, you need to leave the office. And I liked what the head of the Public Service Commission said. He said, you need to leave the office, you need to empower other people by leaving and going for your leaves, for your personal leave days, so that you can allow other people to grow. He was actually asking, what is it that is in that office that you don't want to leave? We know that a lot of people don't want to leave their offices because of corruption. They are corrupt in nature, and they are afraid that if they leave their offices and go for their leaves, there will be their corrupt dealings will be uncovered. So we like, by starting doing that, and performance appraisals, which the president is impressing, I think we are going to fight corruption. And I think those are good baby steps that the president is taking through. And I know Mburu is going to talk more about that.
Well, Mburu is like on. Mburu, are you on another gadget, or you are with us?
Mzalendo.
Yes,
Before
Mzalendo. Criticisms are very important. Opposition is very important. For the government to perform, it needs the people who are able to tell where they are not doing well. And to that, I want to commend Mr. G for being direct to the point, so that if there is an area in which the president is not very careful, he'll be in a position to do what is expected of him. It is within your right to express yourself, and you have a very strong personality. In fact, you should contest for a position in the next general election. You are very tough, I can tell. And we need such people in the media, because you can be in a position to tell what other people are not in a position to say. Having said that, however, I think it's also good, as much as it's okay to criticize, it's also good to balance. Don't rubbish everything. Balance it. Say where the president has done right, say here he has done right. Or you can put it this way. This is what I expected him to do. So for me, I'm very comfortable with your criticism, because I also didn't know that the president have gone to Uganda. I will have to check that. I would not have supported.
Guru, on the issue of Uganda, don't listen to Mzalendo and Misi. Those are just propaganda. Go to YouTube, search. Utapata kama ameenda Uganda, magenda Uganda. Those are lies. Those are propaganda. Go on, Mr. Mburu.
So what I can say is that I don't know if he has gone or not, but if he didn't go, yet he promised people that he will go, then that is not correct. Because for a president who is a symbol of a nation, who is expected, who everybody is looking upon, should always keep his word. It is better not to promise.
Mburu, please.
Let me just finish what I'm saying, so that you see where I'm coming from.
You give me a second. Just give me a second. I know you'll finish. I know a gentleman is all the way in Somalia, and the network is so bad, and is trying to give his contribution. I need to welcome Leo. Leo, kindly, please. Leo, pole sana. I can see you are really struggling with the network, but welcome to the show. I know you're burning. Your fingers are itching to say something about the president and about what you are doing in your recruitment in Siaya. Karibu sana Leo.
Yeah, there is a big network problem.
Yeah, Leo seems to be having a network issue.
In the meantime, Mzalendo, you can ask Mburu, because Mburu said that he's a very decent person. He made most of us who have been having a debate here, interactive debate, to look like we are not very decent. If you would ask him to retract that statement from Mburu.
I think that was an unfortunate statement. But
Mburu is okay. Mburu, just give him time. What was saying, bana mwachana na Mburu.
You can finish.
See, you guys, you have to let me say what I wanted to say and finish. Mzalendo told you are the moderator. So if you haven't given me a chance to say something, I won't say it. Anyway, this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to say this. Sometimes it is better not to promise than promise and then not to do it. For me, I would prefer that, we say in many words, you cannot lack sin. So sometimes people who talk much or talk ahead of time, they make a lot of mistakes. And this is what I would advise the president as a staunch supporter. Sometimes it's not good to keep on promising. Just do it, then tell people, you see what we have done. For me, that approach would be a better approach. Because I feel like in the last, especially regime of Uhuru Kenyatta, Uhuru made the president promise so many things. But then he decided, okay, you said it, but now we are not working together. I am going to sabotage you. And whatever William Ruto had promised the people, he had no power to make those projects be implemented. And that is how he was fixed. So for his opponents, they can easily sabotage him and he's likely to fail. But also it's not good to keep on promising. Do it. We will see it. Do it. Tell us what you have done. That approach is a better approach. However, I didn't listen to that clip very well about Uganda. I don't know which Tuesday he meant. Maybe it is next Tuesday, because he said next Tuesday. I don't know which one. So anyway, let me stop there, because Mr. Leo, I think now your network is good.
Leo, please. Leo, if you can hear me, just nod. If you can hear me, if you feel your network is good, then go ahead. Leo. Assalamu alaikum, Leo. Assalamu alaikum, Leo. Mutu.
Hello. Can somebody hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Mr. G, can you hear me?
Yeah, I get you clear, my friend, my brother.
I've just joined. I just need some. I just need to get some time and maybe to get to know what you people are discussing, so that I can be able to know. You know, Mzalendo wants to push me. So
I don't want to put.
What I've heard is Mburu maybe just giving some recommendations on the.
Okay, Leo, you
allow
can listen.
me remind Mburu that the role of government is not to give promises, but to be interested in knowing the policies that you're having. We are interested in seeing them being implemented. We are not interested in knowing how many kilometers we're going to do. So let me just take time and maybe I can catch up with you. Then
okay,
I'll be able to
well,
join and give my comments or my review.
Asante sana, Leo. We will give you time when you are ready. You'll come into the show and tell us what you feel about your country.
Salimia aye.
I can see Leo is in the middle of Mogadishu with what is that robe that you're wearing? I don't know. Iko na jina. Si inaitwaje hii kitu? Mr. G anajua. G, what is it? What is the name of that thing that Leo is wearing?
No, Mzalendo, that hata hiyo jina mimi sijui. What I wanted just to congratulate Mburu. Mburu, what you have said the last point you have said, exactly that is what's supposed to be done.
Mzalendo, you are having.
Wait,
this one
tafuta network.
Is called Arafat. I think it relates to what is happening currently when you talk of the Palestine. There is this man, people try to identify this robe.
Oh, Yashir Arafat. Okay. It's called Arafat. Yeah.
Okay, I was saying that Mburu, the truth is that we don't believe in promises. You have to act. If you promise something that you can deliver. Don't promise something just because you want to take ani inaitongaje kudanganya watu wakufuate and yet you cannot deliver. Exactly. On the issue of this thing ambao leo ameweka hapa talking about Israel and Palestine. You know, okay, I did not want to enter into that thing. I don't know if I can enter into it ama Mzalendo. Kuna haja kuingilia hiyo kitu kweli ama tuachane nayo? Mzalendo.
The beauty about this particular channel is called Africa Diaspora 24. We dwell on all the issues that is happening throughout the world and focused on African development and African issues. We don't neglect any particular issues, especially in issues making news headlines. The issue of Palestine and Hamas is something that is being talked about throughout the world currently, because Israel is attacking the Palestinians, and the Hamas are also retaliating. So that's an issue that we need to dwell on it. We need to talk about it. But again, we talk about it trying to find a lasting solution to both the Palestine and the people of Israel. So you can give us your opinion, although, yeah, somebody out there might listen and say, okay, that guy made a lot of sense. And people also learn. This is a learning platform. You get to learn, to get the knowledge, you get to know how this conflict started, because so many people don't even know that Israel is the size of Embu County. So many people don't know that Israel invaded Palestine in 1945 and occupied that particular land that the Palestinians are claiming it's theirs. It's not claiming, it is there. It is their land. That is what is there, even in the Bible. So those are things that we need to talk about. We need to understand what is really happening in Palestine. George, in your own words, what do you think should be done in the conflict? Because what is happening, Russia has also said that it's going to take sides. It's going to support the Palestinians if the US is supporting Israel. So we are looking at a world war here.
Mzalenda, I'd not want to give my views on this thing because I think for us to understand what is happening, we need to get the exact thing that happened from the beginning, you see. But now some of us hatuna historia how this thing happened. Some of us just read some things in the Bible. We just read some things in Quran. So that's why I was saying I don't think if it's right for me to give my suggestion, because maybe I may give suggestion that will not help. So for this thing to work, those people to sit down and find the formidable solution on the same issue. I didn't want to give my suggestion to talk about the same thing. I wanted us to talk about the issue that is affecting our people in Kenya. What is happening right now? How the cost of living is hitting our people, and how people have lost jobs in Kenya. Even though we know that people are being hit in Palestine, people are being destroyed, and the buildings are being destroyed in Palestine by Israel. But who started the war? It was Hamas who started killing people from Israel. So they are just retaliating. I will not give much option on those issues, Mr. Mzalendo.
Well, yeah, I think it is not. It is beyond your paycheck. It's beyond your pay grade. So this issue of Hamas, it's indeed thorny. For us, we are only giving views from what we read or from what we understand. Leo, if you are ready with your opinion, then you can go ahead if you have good network. And Leo, be careful. Don't touch on the issue of Hamas and Israel, because you are in the middle of Somalia, and don't talk negatively there. Otherwise unaweza patikana mahali ingine. So you have to be careful on your comment. Yeah, so Leo, I need you to talk about your view on CIF. Recently, yep.
On Zalendo. Okay. Just a minute.
Oh, your network, my brother.
On your screen. I can see on your screen you are talking of the construction and things going to happen in Homa Bay. I think you've just done it intentionally to try and portray the government possible. But there's one thing that I want us to admit is that it is because of the resilience and the opposition that this government is experiencing in Nyanza. That is the reason why they're getting these things. So those guys in what belongs to them, they really understand the 2010 constitution, the provisions that enables the county government to work with the national government that enables the equal distribution of resources that did maybe to just dish out resources based on how you follow the president. So it is the understanding of the constitution that has made Ruto going to benefit. And those people who are not opposing and are just clapping and celebrating, they'll be given mchele na nyama. But those people who are opposing this government, that is how good Mandamano is. Just I'll give you this road. Okay, I'll launch this,
Hey.
I'll do this, I'll do this. But if you keep on praising him, unafanya vizuri, he will come and give you mchele, he will come with the denomination. At the end of his 5 years, Nyanza is going to be the most beneficiary, so that it can be a lesson to those people who keeps on telling us that, you know, you have to be in government for you to get development. It will be a lesson to them that you have to oppose the government for you to get development. Not opposing the government, you have to remind the government that this thing belongs to us for you to get them. The moment you support the government will use you as some trading tools. They'll use you like they're using the people of Mount Kenya as trading tools. Those are their items of trade. They're not going to benefit. But those people who are calling on the government, the ones you're telling are in opposition. So you people should not tell the people who want to join the government. The moment they'll join the government and start dancing, watakuwa wanaanza kupikiwa maragwe. Yenye ulikuwa unaona wala akipeleka. But the moment they started opposing this government, Owalo stopped giving maragwe, and they're now coming with roads. They're now coming with fish.
Now you agree that the government brings development. That is the irony. That is on the flip side. So the government, according to Leo, the government can bring a development if you stop Mandamano. But then why did you have to sack the MPs who are asking the government for Mandela?
Mzalendo, I think Leo has a problem with network. You're not
He
getting
has
what
a
he's saying.
serious. Leo, you can hang up a bit, listen in, because your network is terrible in Somalia.
Coming to
Yeah, and while I agree with what Leo is saying, I want also to dispel the rumors or the propaganda that he's trying to propel, that it is because of maandamano that happened in Nairobi. That is why the president is going to Nyanza to give them goodies. Otherwise, the president would have started from Nairobi. Maandamano was squarely and actively in Nairobi. The president should have started awarding those who were on maandamanos in Nairobi prior to going to Luo Nyanza. So I think Leo should reduce or cut down on propelling lies that it is the maandamano that pushed President William Ruto to even start negotiating on talking with the Luo Nyanza. Actually, I want to commend the president for not allowing the opposition to push him to come to the table and circumvent their ways to the government, illegally to the government. But the president has been seen to set a president that anything that has to be done must be constitutionally, or must be any conversation that or bipartisan engagement must be constitutional. And the president has done very well. And that is why you see now the Azmio or the opposition had to look for other ways to even try to engage the international community to force the president to calm down and have a conversation with them. And so we are used to see one Raila Amolo Odinga pushing any person who has been in government, push him to the corner to the extent that now he has to give in to his demands. But I think I commend the president for having shut down that avenue, that every other electioneering period, we have to be forced to come to the table and negotiate and give positions to the Azmio. I mean, while Leo and Nyabayo and Mr. G and Mburu said that there is beauty in having opposition, we agree, and we want them to stay in opposition so that they can keep check of the government of the day. And that's beautiful to have such people to keep and hold accountable the government of the day. But it's also important to know that the Azimio and the people around Azimio and their leader have been always using this as a shortcut by pressuring the government and getting to the government through backdoor. And I believe
Mzalendo,
very well.
Mzalendo, don't allow Messi to mislead people with what he's telling us. Hii propaganda tunasema tuachane nayo. There's no place ambao Raila has forced his way to the government. He always wants the openness. Tuache mambo ya propaganda, Mr. Mzalendo. There's one thing about Buru talked about. I wanted him to explain because Buru said that Azimio is forcing itself to join the government. Hiyo ilikuwa ni maandamano before hata niingie, almost kama 20 minutes before niingie. He talked about something kuhusiana na Azimio forcing itself to join the government. I wanted him to explain and to expand on it. At least we understand how are they forcing this thing. Because for me, I understand that these people they just wanted everything to be open. They wanted them to go, even if they talk about the issue of server, they open the server, waangalie waone who won, alafu everything goes on. But you are saying that they are forcing themselves. When you look at what Messi is saying that Azimio is forcing their way just to join the government. I have never seen them talking about joining the government. What they're saying, they don't want to join this government. This is what they're always saying, that is always out in the media. So what your propaganda, Mr. Mburu should tell us why he said that the Azimio is forcing itself to join the government. I want to understand something on that.
Mburu, can you explain yourself? This is a question to you by George, because you can't come to the platform and say that the Right Honorable Raila Odinga is trying to force his way into government. Where did you get that notion? Please answer that question.
No, he did not say Raila Odinga. He said that Azimio is forcing its way to join the government.
Thank you. I believe you had George well and clear. Please answer, George.
Yes, Mr. G. Yeah, thank you for that question. I spoke so many things, and I was speaking those things in the different contexts. One context was about the picture that you saw there. That video was showing it was edited to portray a notion of conflict between the president and deputy president. And those who are doing that, they are doing it with a reason. But having said that, I said this is what I said. I said that the way I look at the things that are going on, I see Azimio is preparing or is determined. I don't remember myself using the word forcing, but I said that I see Azimio and the leadership being led by Raila Odinga, that they are determined to join the government at whatever cost. So I don't remember saying they are forcing, but I'm saying they are determined. And that is why, you remember, if you can remember, when some people were not comfortable, people like Jeremiah Kioni, Mother Karua, and the team, when they were saying, we need to withdraw from the bipartisan talks, Raila Odinga said no, the talk must continue. Kalonzo said no, these talks must continue. So out of their behaviors and their gesture tells me they are determined to work with the government, not necessarily joining, but working, having a modality within which they're gonna work together. If you remember, during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga did not join the government, but they were working together. But we interpreted in layman's language to mean that Raila Odinga joined the government. Doesn't matter in which form they're gonna join the government. But believe me not, Mr. G, within no time, you will see Raila Odinga and William Ruto working together. And that is what I meant. So I don't wonder which context I used the word forcing, maybe you heard me wrongly, but I said they are determined to work with the government. They are not prepared to retreat. They are not prepared to go back to the street again, but they are determined to work with the President William Ruto. And this is going to happen very soon, very soon. You see it happen. You see it happen, which is a good thing for the country. So I don't think I said it out of bad faith. For me, I want to see a nation which is united. And that is what I meant.
All right, Mr. G. I hope you are answered. And we have done a cool 3 hours on this particular show. We have a very early morning tomorrow. I know, Mr. G, you are already in maybe 7, 8 o'clock in Kenya. In Virginia, it is 2 a.m. In Missouri, where Mburu is, it is 1 a.m. in the morning. Mise, we share the same time zone in Canada. He has left briefly. I think he's at 2 a.m. also. For us, we've had a very interesting show tonight. I want you guys to give me the last parting shot and see you tomorrow. And remember, Mr. G, to follow us on this particular channel. On Friday, Saturday, we'll be having very, very interesting discussions. This is a show where we actually analyze the politics the way it is without talking at each other, without actually trying to portray that we are so much inclined in government. When there is an issue that they are not doing correct, we will correct it in this particular show. Feel free each and every time to come around and we discuss our country in a positive way. You know, if you are all discussing politics and you are all members of Azimio, you will not get a different opinion. But if you have a different view of things, then perhaps in the next general election, you'll be more organized in 2027 to win the presidency. So these are the particular shows that we come together, try to get the numbers and try to get power and try also to vie for these particular seats that are there within the constitution. Mr. G, you are capable of running as an MP, as a senator, as an MCA, wherever you are, and project your views the way you want. Sit on that table and change the laws of your country. It is important that we participate in the politics. Mburu, your last parting shot before I give Mr. G. Your mic, Mburu, your mic is off. Mic.
Thank you, Mr. Mzalendo. We have had a good show, and that's a good progress. I don't have much to say. Let us continue building our nation. Let us continue talking to one another. And I encourage people to follow our page, both in YouTube and in Facebook. And this channel, everybody feel free. This is a good place. Mr. G, you are most welcome. I like your contribution. I love your courage. And I want to continue having a discussion with you anytime. And maybe in your last words, you will tell us whether what I said, what you think about that. Do you think Azimio is likely to work with Kenya Kwanza in the near future, in the very near future? You tell us about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mburu. On that issue of Azimio working with the government, I don't think it will ever happen. What I know, these guys, they even don't plan to mix with a rotten. In fact, Baba called it a rotten bread. So I don't think if we have a point whereby they can meet and then work together. What I know is that I think they just want to sit down and find the right solution. And the solution is to know who won the election. That's why they're pushing for this issue of opening the server. Even though I know that they may never open it. But what they are only pushing is for them to open the server, to know who won the election, and then they leave it. They go their own way. In fact, I'm sure maybe Baba may never run for for a presidency again in the 2027. But now, listening to what Ruto told the people of Nyanza, akiongea vile napenda kuongea kuwa huyu nini Kalonzo tazama na mimi kweli. Those are the things that he used to do it. He used to say when he was campaigning. So in fact, there's something that he's trying to pass across. There's a message he's trying to pass across. But on my views, there's no way there's a new team will sit down and decide to work with this government. Maybe if they will agree to take the office that they're trying to talk about, the also opposition leader. Maybe if they can agree to take the position and then they start perform their duty, then that is well. But for me, I don't believe they can sit down and work with this team. In fact, when look at the principle that Nani Akonazo, that our mama Martha Karua Akonazo, I don't think he can sit down and say that let's. In fact, look at the team of Kenya Kwanza. In fact, the whole team, almost the whole team, not all, but almost the whole team is rotten. Those are thugs, thieves, ambao wamekuwa na makesi mingi sana kwa court. But what has happened? Kesi zao zote zimetupiliwa mbali. And looking at the principle that our mama has, na some of our leaders in Azimio, they cannot sit down with this government. Wasema wanafanya kazi now. In fact, what they're saying that these people are incompetent. Look at the CS. Most of them are incompetent, and most of them are those thieves ambao wamekuwa kimbia wa Kenya. At the short time ambao tumekuwa nao for the last 1 year ambao tumekuwa nayo, look at how these people were grab pesa. As much as our people are not going to school, our children are not going to school kwa sababu hawana pesa ya kulipa shule. As much as our people are sleeping hungry, hawana chakula ya kula, hawana hata pesa ya kwenda hospitali. The government ambayo inaongozwa na Ruto, ambayo ametoa mpaka linda mama, ametoa a lot of things, but they enjoy. The people that still getting their salaries at Jakarta. There's a point that you said, Mburu, before I joined. You talked about kutoa hizi vitu za kama hii mambo ya women rep, kama hizi hazina maana. It's very true, hizi vitu hazina maana. The government is big, but now for the person who cares for his people, kama mtu ambaye anasema anakuja kupigania mama mboga, I expected him, as I said earlier, him at least to cut the cost. Na cut the cost, hangekuwa mtu wa kwanza kukimbilia mbele akisema kuwa wanataka yeye Rigathi Gachagua na huyu ma DVD ati wanataka kununua gari ya almost 700 million. Those are the things that they put as first priority. Look at what happened in State House. Alinunua ile lami yote, akanunua zile makaburi zote, akaweka zingine mpya. Ukienda kwa State House, he bought everything new. Hiyo pesa sangeka kwanza akasaidia watu, because we know that the economy iko mbaya. It's not only in Kenya, it's affecting the whole world. But for him, just compare him, who is Ruto, and that president of Zambia, the new president. I think he's on the seat. I think this is the Adama 40 year. What did he do? Even at the time ambapo analetewa that receipt ile nini assign signature kwa anunuliwa magari, he refused. Akasema hawezi. Kwa sababu gani? Hiyo pesa iende saidia wale wa mama mboga, iende saidia wale watu wa chini, wale watu ambao hawana kazi, iende shule, ijenge shule. Akawa anaongea kwa MPs wake, anasema MP going and taking 2-3 million ataenda kununua gari. Asifanye kitu kama hiyo. Hiyo pesa iende saidia mwananchi wa chini. Those are the things that I was expecting this guy, kwa sababu anasema anapigania mwananchi wa chini. I expected him to talk to his people, to talk to his MPs, at least cut short that cost by reducing their salaries. Alafu hiyo pesa iende kwa watu wa chini iweze kusaidia. I expected him cut cost, hii mambo ya kukimbia na mandege kila mahali ishe. I expected him to do a lot of things ambao hajafanya. In fact, right now, look at what is happening. Sasa tunadanganya kuwa help inafanya. I don't think that will help. A lot of people wataenda shuleni. A lot of things of our children will never join the university kwa sababu hawana hiyo pesa. Kazi imepungua kwa sababu gani? Economy is bad. Investors wametoroka Kenya. Companies are closing. People are losing jobs. So there's a lot of things that this government was supposed to do, but it's not. In fact, it is blind. Haioni. Ni kama ilikuwa inadanganya tu watu kuingia tu kwa kitchen na kwanza kukula. Okay, I have a call. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. G. Thank you, the guys who are on the commentary session. Thank you, Opande, for joining us in Dallas. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Abol, for joining us on the show. Thank you, Ken, who you've really spiced up the show on Facebook and on the commentary section. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you for watching the political show on Afrique 24. We have discussed the latest news and the events in Kenyan politics. We have had a lively and informative conversation with our guest, Mr. Mburu, Mr. G, Mr. Mise, and of course, Leo in Somalia, who have shared their insights and perspective on various topics such as the upcoming elections, the parties, UDA, ODM, the development projects that the president was launching in various places in Nyanza, the challenges that Kenyans are facing. We hope you have enjoyed the show and learned something new. We are not very, very perfect. We are not perfect. We are not your, your top presenters, but we have passion for our country. We would like to thank our guests for their time and contributions. We would also like to thank you, your viewers, for staying tuned, listening to us, and of course, following us. Please, 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 please subscribe to our show. You will make us have those numbers that we need. Please join us again next on Friday or on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, another episode of a political show where we will bring you more analysis and commentary on the issues. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and good night to all of you who have been part of this lovely, lovely program. Otherwise, thank you very, very, very much, Mr. G, once again for gracing this occasion. We missed you so, so, so much, Mr. G. Ulipotelea, but karibu sana. We will always keep you locked. And whenever we have a show, we will call you so that you can give us those nice, informative views that you normally present. Otherwise, nimewashukuru sana kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Nimewashukuru sana kwa wale wamekuwa katika hii show ya Afrique 24. Hii ni show ambayo tunaangazia siasa za Kenya na siasa za ulimwengu. So tunatarajia mtakuwa nasi wakati ujayo saa kama huu. Na Mise, ndugu yangu, ameondoka kidogo, but ananiambia nimsubiri aambie watu kweli, lakini namwambia hapana, sisi bana tunataka kwenda kulala saa hii. Usingizi imetushika. I'm giving you like no minutes. Otherwise, thank you very much. I'll leave you with
but just one thing before you close, Mr. Mzalendo.
Yes.
Yeah, on this issue, there's something about leo comment hapo. I don't know if you can read it kwa sababu najaribu kusoma lakini haifungui. There's something where ameongea, he meant that Baba is working with Ruto ama what is the meaning of that? Sijaiona vizuri. No, you're mute. Hata sikusikii. You're mute. Yeah, that's the thing.
Parting shot. Raila Odinga will work with Ruto. It is already happening only on shared values like distribution of resources in Azimio.
Okay, there's something that I wanted to say.
Yes.
There's something that I wanted to say. Just going back to that clip that you shared. You know, Mzalendo, no one should lie to you that maybe that Ruto upon in bad terms na regarding Gachagua. They're not in bad terms. Those are friends. Those are people who have their strategy and they're working on their strategy. Really painting just picture for people waone wafikiria maybe kuna shida, but these people they're working together and they have their own agenda that working on. Tutasijidanganye, hii timu moja. That's what I wanted to say. Hii mambo ya kuleta hizi picha propaganda nini, that thing will not work. These people have one agenda to take people from Raila, and that's why they're going to, they're trying. In fact, angalia the CS huyu anaitwa Walo and the team from Nyanza. In fact, their role is just to enter into Nyanza and to recruit more people to bring to this side. But I don't think they succeed.
Well,
but that is their plan. That is their agenda.
Mr. George, in politics, you look for numbers. You don't just sit comfortably like you people are seated comfortably, not looking for numbers in Sigoi. You will not have that winning formula by 2027. Ruto is interested in numbers. Biashara ya mtu wa siasa ni binadamu. So anatafuta kura na is allowed to look for the votes in whichever way that he feels is best for him. For you in Azimio, I think you need to pull up your socks. You need to look for a strategy to come up with to counter what Kenya Kwanza is doing. So far, I don't see any strategy from you apart from just lamenting and lamenting. You need to come up with a recruitment plan to recruit young people into your political movement and to convince the people of Kenya that you are indeed the alternative government. Without that, then I think you are going to get what we call in basketball, we used to call it baptism of fire. So that is exactly what will happen to Azimio in 2027. Otherwise, George, I know you have a lot to say after this, but I want you to leave it for tomorrow. We will have another show.